Chevalier Cup Day at Sha Tin Saturday afternoon, and we're previewing the third event, which is over the straight 1,000 metres, the only 1,000-metre race of the day. Rail in the C position, so there'll be no false rail. They'll be hard up against the outside. And Valiant Dream is the one horse in this race that drops back into this class, and this is where he's won before. The newcomers, Car Fortune, a 3-year-old ISG with Peter Ho, and War of Courage, a 3-year-old with Manfred Mann. He's a big unit too. Horse number 8 on the second page. Aurora Steed, Jazz Steed, Aeolus, Trust Me, Blinker's first time. He's got a good barrier to go with that. A nice barrier for Island Winner. And Galaxy Racer is on the verge of a drop in grade, but did run slightly better last start behind a horse in form, Aurora Pegasus. Now, no Chunfar information for the third, but here's the speed map, and it probably is sort of on the slow side for a straight 1,000-metre race.
Yeah, potentially could be. Lucky Moore, he led last time out, but he just wasn't able to quite find over the final stages. So you've got Valiant Dreamer, Aurora Steed there. He's shown a little bit of pace in the past. War of Courage and also Sparkling Dolphin have shown some pace in their recent trials as well. On the second line, you've got Jazz Steed, Trust Me, and Island Winner. And keep an eye on Here Comes Ted and Moon Peaks. They might be running on at the end.
Here is Car Fortune, one of the first starters. I thought I'd highlight him. Now, Cross Noseband and the Hood will go on his debut run. Peter Hose trains him at 1,075 for this horse. You can see he's under a decent hold here, ready to go to the races. As the 2, he's drawn 7. Lucky Moore, he went really well on his debut run. He just got beaten by Duke Y. Was a phenomenal performance by Duke Y that day, but it was a great run also from Lucky Moore, and you can see he's come on for that run, so he goes nicely enough, and his track work as well.
Let's move on to some key races then, try and point you in the right direction. Just on Car Fortune, it's had a couple of trials and Blake Shin's been aboard in both. He also rode Valiant Dream in his most recent trial, and that's the horse it looks like he has opted to ride. Now, Strathallan, Jazz Steed. Jazz Steed's a nice big scopy type. I think he's got something in the locker, but we haven't seen the best yet. And Strathallan does like the course and distance and has the claim. Yeah,
Jazz Steed last start pulled up with a lame right front, so he might have had the odd excuse there. On Strathallan, I thought he got to the line okay. He wasn't totally strong to the line in this 1,000-metre contest. Hong Kong wind kept on going. You can just see he just seemed to be going up and down at the same spot. But again, Alfie Chan rides for Tony Millard from gate 2.
Yeah, get the lightweight, wasn't he? And he's a one-time winner, or two-time winner here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I left him out, but I have been a fan of his for a while, Strathallan, and this is certainly up his alley. Let's go to Neil Callan now, who's having a chat about one of the newer horses in this race. Here Comes Ted.
Neil, Here Comes Ted, a horse you've had a fair bit to do with this stage of his career. What did you make of his first up run?
Yeah, it was very good. He was a little bit unfortunate. It wasn't that he jumped slow. He jumped okay with him, but the horse on the inside or the outside just came out and put him off his game for a stride, and he just kind of like lost touch with the field. And you know, I suppose first up then I was just thinking about giving him an education and getting him to hit the line, and he did that very, very encouragingly, and he ran a good third. So yeah, he's definitely going to improve off that, and you know, he's a nice type.
And how much do you think he will have learned from that experience?
He'll definitely have learned from it. You know, like I always thought that he was going to need a run or two to kind of get himself right to show something in a race, but he's always been a nice horse. Like, I've been on him from day one. I've done a lot of work with him. He was always, because he was young, he was still a bit weak and he was still a little bit immature. It's good that David's given, since last season, plenty of time to mature and strengthen up. So, you know, he showed that in his first run this season, and hopefully the patience and everything else comes together and he keeps improving.
Could he win over 1,000, or the way that he finished off and the way that he's bred, is he a horse that we're more going to look out for over a bit further?
Look, I always thought that he's going to be better when he goes 1,200 plus, but he ran such a good race and he made up such amount of ground last time that you know, I just suggested to David, look, you know, he's ran so good over 1,000, just keep him at 1,000 from the next run, and then we'll decide about a plan after. But he's got a good draw. If he steps away nicely and can keep in touch with the field a bit closer, I don't see why he can't close off and be good enough to win over 1,000.
All right, Neil Callan, who has a son called Ted too, so hopefully Here Comes Ted can do the right thing by all concerned there. We saw in that replay, Moon Peaks in the background was closing off very strongly and didn't get a clear run at a vital stage. Trial track now, Aurora Steed, Valiant Dream, Sparkling Dolphin. What do we make of these going in?
Well, I touched on Sparkling Dolphin before, that he has got some pace because he has shown it in the past and he also has shown it in the trials. Vincent Hoey was pushed out over the final stages here. You can see Aurora Steed, not too much happening with him, and Valiant Dream in behind them. He was finding the line nicely also.
Yeah, just a real quiet one for Valiant Dream. I didn't like Sparkling Dolphin's trial there. I just thought he was pushed right out at the end, and he's had one race start and he did finish towards the back.
All right, Island Winner. Interesting, he's come up very short in place betting Island Winner. He's drawn well, 13. It's his second go course and distance. And I think you made a little case for him at a price last start, Paul.
Yeah, I did, and I've dropped off from this time.
No.
That was a Happy Valley. I thought he would be suited by Happy Valley. He didn't run very well. He was there up until the turn and dropped out. Down the straight 1,000 might be ideal.
Crossover noseband first time. He did wear that in that recent trial as well.
Declaration of a War is making him a name for himself as a sire. There's no doubt about that. And here is a son of his, War of Courage, out of an Encosta de Largo mare with Manfred Man. Big unit, 12.48 pounds.
He's shown a little bit of pace in his recent trial. I thought he finished off OK here. He was 80,000 out of the English sale for Manfred Man. So he's had 2 trials here. He's won in place in both of them. I think I'd just be happy to watch him go round though.
Yeah, me too.
Further?
I just think he needs further.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the tips now, and Paul has the one on top by the looks of it.
Yeah, Valiant Dream, I'm going to go with him. He's been downgraded. He has won in this grade before, and I just thought coming down on this grade, the tongue tie will go on him. Blake's in aboard. I think this could be his race, and he is a winner here already. Now, Lucky Moors, I thought will start close to odds on after that run on debut. It was a really good run, but from barrier 4, I just thought Valiant Dream can get first run on him. You mentioned Moon Peaks, Brett. He was very unlucky last time. He caught my eye as well. And here comes Ted in there for 4th. 1-4-6-5.
Similar numbers, but I've in the end gone with the favourite here, Lucky More for Zach Purton and Danny Shum. Last time out was just beaten in the end. He just got tired late, and I think maybe if they ride him a little bit more conservatively, not go to the front and just sit just in behind with a little bit of cover, you might be able to finish off. Valiant Dream there. Here comes Ted, and keeping an eye on Island Winner with the crossover noseband on. So 4, 1, 5 and 13.
Yeah, I've got similar numbers as well, but I do think there are a few others in the race that certainly could bob up potentially if they get the right run.